Hello, this is Dr. Maddy. Today we're going to talk about your clinic's location. And does the success of your practice have to do with your clinic's location? I think there's a lot of people that take an extreme approach to this, where they say, no, your location doesn't matter. If you put hard work in, your clinic's going to succeed. And of course, there's different definitions of succeed, but I guess I'm talking about, does the location matter to how big you can grow your practice and your financial success? Some people say the location doesn't matter, it's all about your work ethic. Other people think, man, I am in a rural area, it's just never going to work in this area. And I do think we need to take a middle of the route approach. And the cool thing is, I'm able to test this out for you guys because we have our first clinic in Saginaw, and that is the more rural area where we are having to market to a 90-mile radius in order to stay full. And in Troy, the population is dense. They have a high socioeconomic status down there, and Saginaw does not. So I am able to see just how much location matters with the success and growth of your practice. I do believe a practice can work anywhere. If you are in a rural area, you will have to tap into your surrounding market, maybe the busy city next to you. If you're the go-to clinician for pelvic health, people will drive to you, even if there is someone in their city that is a pelvic health provider. So it's all how you market it and present yourself. If you are, again, in a rural area, you likely will have to tap into markets outside of your area, and that's fine. But it is a lot of effort. It's a lot of hard work. I always think about my friend in Ohio. She's in a rural area too, and she works so hard. I always feel bad for her. She's doing workshops after workshops, offering free evaluations to try to get people in her clinic. It took forever to fill her pelvic floor therapist schedule. It was painful to watch. And my friend in San Antonio, sorry guys, I'm talking about you. She can fill those schedules like it's her job. Like, it's so easy. And I am here to say, I am going to make excuses for you guys. Location does make a big difference. So anyway, we have our Saginaw clinic, we have our Troy clinic, and I started marketing Troy, and it's taken us 2 weeks to fill my OT schedule in Troy. She's packed with evals. And Saginaw, we've learned how to market now, but it's taken us a good year and a half to be having some therapists with full schedules. And in Troy, back to Troy, my OT's full. We're thinking about hiring a full-time clinician. I will sympathize with you that location does make a big difference. I don't know if you guys follow Lindsay Vestal on social media, but she just came out with a really cool document on average pay for OTs across the US. And one of the things she found, and I'm sorry if I'm interpreting this document wrong, she can correct me after this, but one of the things she found is that in general, OTs are paid pretty similarly across the United States. And we see the same or a similar trend in PT, mostly because of insurance companies, because PTs can never make more than X amount of dollars per hour because a lot of places take insurance and the reimbursement isn't even that amount. So of course PTs have to get paid below what these companies are getting reimbursed for. So PTs and OTs, their salaries are always going to be capped in general. And that's what the market value for these clinicians is. And it's sad to say, but the salary is pretty well capped for these clinicians, and we see it pretty consistent across the US. So if I think about my clinic in Saginaw, we do charge significantly less than in Troy, but we pay the clinicians very similarly to what we're paying the clinicians in Troy. So there's one thing right off the bat. If you have a more rural clinic and maybe an area that's less wealthy, you're still going to have to pay your therapist the same, but you're going to only be able to charge a certain amount in general. You can still charge quite a bit, but you still may be a little capped by that. Whereas in a bigger area, you have more people to market to. It's easier to market because they're all just there. It's so dense with the population. There's a pelvis there that's going to need your help once you weed through the people. But you're going to be charging a lot more, and your clinician is going to be paid market value for their profession / higher, because we want to treat our people like royalty. I will say with the location, we've been able to grow so much faster in a more urban area, and it's just been so much easier. It is so much easier in a big city. But I don't want people in a small area, a rural area, to give up on their dreams and not do it, because it's still very doable. It takes more time and effort. You're going to have to work very, very hard. You're going to have to work like my friend in Ohio, and it's going to be harder to have multiple clinicians to hire, because the sheer volume of people is less in that area. You have less people to market to. So I just wanted to bring in this perspective about multiple locations. Of course, I am just opening my second location, so there will be more information as I go along, and maybe it's just a fluke that in those 2 weeks we've been able to fill her schedule. Maybe it's going to all dry up. Doubtful. I get text notifications on my phone when we get a lead, whether someone fills out an online inquiry, whether someone fills out a Facebook ad form, and my phone, ping, 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 Troy, 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 Saginaw, Troy, 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 Saginaw. So God bless you. If you are in a small area, great work. That area needs to be served. You are doing your duty. You're helping a lot of people that would not be served. And please know that you're having to work harder than a lot of people that own clinics. And great job. You can do this. It's still going to work, but it's going to be harder. So you can do it. Keep up the work. Keep me posted and let me know. Do you live in a rural area and you have tons of clinicians and you've just been growing like crazy? There are some clinics that are like that in rural areas. I'm not going to say they're all difficult, because I think those areas are more underserved, and now some of the bigger cities are starting to be more saturated with pelvic floor therapists, but it's still not popular enough that we're saturated enough in those big cities. So in Troy, there's pelvic floor therapists down there already, which there's not many where I'm at in Saginaw, but still, it's still not anywhere near meeting the demand of that area and the population of that area. So hope you like this podcast. If you want to chat more location, reach out to me on dr.maddy_Roth on Instagram. And I'd love to keep the conversation going.